Hey, and welcome to the first episode, Breakfast Thoughts, with me, Chris. Today's breakfast, as you'll see, is Shreddies. I decided to start with a classic. Shreddies is actually one of my favorite cereals of all times. I guess I can start the show by introducing the show. This is Breakfast Thoughts, and so this will happen every Monday. What we'll do is we'll talk about what's going on in the world of candy, and I'll eat some cereal, I guess, if I can eat cereal and talk at the same time. So, of course, the new news is this show. The other news is later this week on candycritic.org, on our blog, we're going to be posting new episodes or new blogs about our trip to Europe. Last week we posted a thing about our time in Estonia, but we also went to Finland, and we also went to Ireland, both Irelands, so the Irelands. So we'll be posting blogs about that, our experiences there. In the future too, we're going to have episodes of Chris, Why Would You Eat That?, where we're going to talk about Finland and Ireland as well. We recorded the Finland one, and we have some special guests for that one, which is kind of cool. And Ireland we haven't recorded yet, but we will pretty soon. Also, this week later on Candy Critic on Facebook Live, which is actually recording right now as well, so you can watch this as I'm doing it if you want on Facebook Live. But on Facebook Live later this week, I think we're going to be doing something kind of fun. I'm going to try and make Cracker Jacks from scratch. And what I mean from scratch is I'm even roasting the peanuts, which I did an experiment of that this week, and it went horribly wrong. So, but that's what's happening in Candy Critic this week. What's happening in the news lately? What I've noticed is in the news, there's been a lot of articles about plastic straws and their environmentalness of them. A lot of places are starting to ban them. There's news of Disney, all the Disney parks banning them, cities banning them. Both sides, there seems to be two sides to this story. Some people are saying this is a great thing because it's an environmental disaster. It's a pointless piece of plastic that people, billions of people use and throw away and adds a lot to our landfill. Other people, hospitals for example, are saying that it's actually a useful tool. And hospitals are really sort of suffering from this quite a bit. So, I mean, there seems to be two sides to the story. In fact, I think there's many sides to this story. So we're going to be posting a whole bunch of articles later this week about that. We've already posted a bunch already. But, you can check that out on our news feeds, which is on our Facebook page and on our Twitter feed. We post news pretty regularly on there, generally 2 or 3 articles a day. Apparently Lay's is coming out with a whole bunch of regional flavors for the United States. So they're basically breaking apart different areas of the United States and picking flavors that sort of suit that area. This seems like kind of a new thing for Americans, because I found that Americans actually have the blandest sort of varieties of chips I've ever seen. I've traveled around, I've seen other places, and I've tried some amazing flavors made by Lay's as well. They make so many flavors, so it's neat to see that Americans are finally getting into this whole sort of, multi-flavored area of potato chips. So I'm looking forward to that. What else is going on here? I thought I'd let you know, before I finish this up, our Patreon page. We've started to do some new stuff there too. One thing as always is videos like this one you're watching right now is actually being played on Patreon before. So this is actually released before Monday morning. Secret behind the curtain. We do all of our stuff, our blogs, our podcasts, everything is pre-released on Patreon. Generally, sometimes it's a day before, sometimes a couple days before, sometimes a few hours before, but Patreon gets it first. So just, if you want to check that out. The other thing that Patreon gets is you get 2 bonuses that nobody else does. We're doing a Friday video now on Patreon, which is sort of a really casual video, sort of like this, where we take a look at what's happening behind the scenes. What you guys get is what's going to be happening sort of publicly, but Patreon people get to find out what's happening behind the scenes. So I thought that's kind of a cool thing to check out. You also, every Thursday I do a review, and now Patreon people patrons can pick what the review will be. So sometime before Thursday, I'll be posting a new selection of 3 different reviews, and the people from Patreon can pick what will be the review for that Thursday. Obviously, if you decide you want to do something kind of crazy, I've got some crazy things there, some simple things there. There's something nostalgic. As always too, you don't even have to be a member of Patreon, but if you guys have ideas for stuff that I should review, let me know. But that's a great way you can enjoy Patreon. So I think that's about it for this morning. I've learned on this first episode of the breakfast thing, I don't actually get too much breakfast. I got one mouthful in and I'm talking, so I don't exactly have the ability to eat that much. But so I guess I'll let you guys get back to your breakfast, and I'm going to finish off my breakfast. So we'll see you next week when we're doing next episode of Chris's Monday morning breakfast thoughts. See ya.